You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. Shout out to the Glebe Central Pub at 779 Bank Street. Visit them for great food, tasty drinks, and oh yeah, how about the Sens bus? The shuttle goes to and from the CTC for only $17 round trip. Sue leaves an hour and 15 minutes before the game from the Glebe, and they bring you right back afterwards. Shout out to the Glebe Central Pub. I'm Ross Levitan. With me, as always, it's Brandon Piller. Pillsy, we are breaking down a 5-4 Senators loss to the Dallas Stars. It's a game where they led 1-0, they led 2-0, they led 3-1, they led 4-2, and in the third period, they decided, nah, we don't even want a loser point.
Yeah, I know. We can't even get that loser point. It always seems to slip away from the Ottawa Senators. And Ross, I think the worst part about this game is I can't believe I actually allowed myself to think the Ottawa Senators weren't going to screw this one up. Like 2 goals on 2 shots. That's a good start to the game, Ross. We talked about it. I hope they have a good 10 minutes. 100% on your first 2 shots. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then you get Jake Ottinger, unfortunately, has an injury and has to leave. But I would much rather have a cold Scott Wedgwood over a Jake Ottinger. So now you're thinking this is even better. What a start. And just eventually over time, the Ottawa Senators are not able to hold up here. And Ross, I know we're a hashtag goalie friendly show, but man, the second and third goals, I got to put a lot of that on Forsey. The second, or I think the third goal, I think that was just the clean shot by Lindell, or was that the second one?
1 sec. I've got it in my notes here.
That's the second one. And
yes,
that was
exactly.
10 seconds after the Sens scored, Ross. So your least favorite thing ever as the announcer is announcing a goal. Bang, they bring it back within 1. And then, yeah, the next goal was not great either. Tough night for Forsey.
The next goal was even worse. Like Thomas Harley just puts a little backhand flub shot. And these goalies, they're so addicted to going into their reverse VH. He looks so uncomfortable the way he's got his knee down.
Well, Ross, the problem isn't that he's in reverse VH. It's that he decides to get out of it for a split second. If he would have stayed like that, there's no gap where that was. And Harley can poke at it all he wants, but there's no gap. I saw the second angle slowed down on the Dallas broadcast, and they showed that he's in reverse VH, and then he moves, opens up a little, and that creates enough space for Harley to tap it in. So, but either way, like that's Harley making something out of nothing, and that's something that Forsberg just don't move, hold the wall, hold that off, and you're going to be fine there. But ultimately, that's 2 bad goals that can't happen if you're going to give your team a chance to win here.
2 awful goals for Anton Forsberg, and he looked really just uncomfortable even outside of that. Yeah. In the first period, like, yeah, that second goal was bad. First one, like it's a bang play, Pavelski backdoor, right? And it's a power
I don't blame Forsey
goal
on that one.
No, but at some point you need a save.
Penalty killing.
You need a save. Oh yeah, where all 3 guys just charge the blue line to take out the one guy.
Yeah, it's like that one. Look, I'll call out a bad goalie if I have to, but that was not Forsey's fault on that one.
All right, let's get into some goaltending conversation here. We are going to break down this whole game. If you're watching this on Saturday morning, we know we're starting these ones late. We'll be back at our regular scheduled time, 10-15 minutes after the final horn on Sunday, when the Senators take on a pissed-off Golden Knights team that just blew a third-period lead at home. And oh yeah, that was an Atlantic Division team that gets the win, the Buffalo Sabres. Swanky Pants, we appreciate you, brother. Pillsy, you agreed with him a few weeks ago. The Corpy should be the number 1. He thinks maybe on vibes high, or on the high vibes. Or is it because you're high? Can the organization put some heat on and say we have a number 1 goalie? That's an interesting question. Does the team come out and say, yeah, Korpisalo is the number 1 goalie? I don't think that would do them a whole lot of good. And I mean, neither of their numbers are very good. I saw a lot on Twitter at Sen Central, people tweeting in saying, where's Mads Sogard? We want Mads back, because at least last year, there were some stinkers in there. There were some good games in there. But what you could at least sell was that he's young and there's potential. These guys are at their potential, and it's not very good right now.
Mr. Pants, if you have to ask, should we say this guy's the number 1 goalie? You probably shouldn't. It should be clear. Like Corpusalo should be so blatantly obvious that he's your number one. We're not even having this conversation, right? But on any given night, I don't feel too comfortable or confident in either of these goalies, unfortunately. Now, that's not me saying every single loss along the way. 14 of them, by the way, if I'm adding the updated loss properly here. That's not to say all those losses are on the tendies, but neither of these goalies has really shown that they can instill confidence, at least for my sake. And Ross, tonight, Forsey did not look confident at all. There was a couple plays where a puck squeaked between his legs and he kind of did the shrug shoulders like, oh man, it got through me again. And it just went out the other side of the crease and he already kind of gave up on the play. And it's classic Forsey. If he's not getting 35 plus or 40 shots, he's not in the game and he's letting in these squeakers early that end up costing the Sens. So I don't know. I wish I had a more confident answer for you, Swanky Pants, but I guess I would give the slight edge to Corpy still. Slight edge.
Yeah, slight edge because nobody's come out and grabbed the number one job. And this, to me, this was a goalie loss tonight. Like, you outshoot the team 29-24. I mentioned all the leads they had in this game. Like, this was a game that a good team finds a way to win. I don't care. It's the second half of back-to-back. And DJ, after the game, saying we were down to 9 forwards for a lot of this game. Is he including Vladimir Tarasenko in this? So if you're just joining, I mean, everyone watched the game tonight. You knew Vladimir Tarasenko was away with a family matter. Like, he can't honestly be saying he's down a forward because a guy didn't dress. Like, you had 12 forwards when you started the game. Like, are we playing with 5D because Thomas Chabot wasn't playing?
Hey, Ross, we've built a slogan, hashtag not math guys. I don't think we should be sitting here chastising DJ Smith if he got his math wrong on that one. There's plenty of other things we can get on him for, but
I think he might have meant I think he might have meant Vladimir Tarasenko, but that's neither here nor there. The Senators did have to battle through a pair of injuries in this one. Mathieu Joseph only played 4 minutes and 43 seconds in the first period before he came up limping on a non-contact play. He was galloping through the neutral zone. He looked like he tried to jump to avoid contact with the puck as it went to the high man at the blue line and came up limping. Left, did not return. And then Rourke Chartier in the second period was injured. He even played less.
I didn't see what happened to him.
I didn't see the play either, but did not return, did not play in the third period. But again, as well, like, how many shifts is Rourke Chartier going to get in the third period anyways? 3, 4? Like, it's not like it was Tim Stützle or Brady Tkachuk out. Like, these are guys you should be able to, still be able to, move forward with. The Senators entered tonight with a lead in the third period. They're 9-0-0 in that situation this year. Now make it 9-1. And like, you could just tell. And it does kind of bring you back to how good goaltending exudes confidence. Mm-hmm. Like, when they were up 4-2, I feel like a lot of people in the chat too, a lot of people could tell that they were not going to win that game.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they had enough that they could hold on to this, but Senators going Senator. And yeah, that second goal was really tough. Like, Lindell just gets in there, clean shot, beats Forsey. Like, that makes it 3-2 at that point. Those are the momentum killers. That's especially 10 seconds after Batherson just scores that goal to make it 3-1. And then boom, you don't even get to enjoy that at all. And now it's a 1-goal game again. So you can't have those momentum killers, especially, Ross, with the team that's as fragile as the Ottawa Senators mentally.
Fragile is a great way to put it. Now, with those injuries, we expect Yuri Smejkal to get called up. We'll get that official announcement on Saturday, but we here at Locked On Senators, as first reported on Locked On Senators, we believe it'll be Yuri Smejkal getting called up, put back in the lineup. He only had an amuse-bouche.
Yeah, 12 total minutes, I think is what he's at. Yeah.
So get him back in the mix here, and hopefully Vladimir Tarasenko is back sooner rather than later, because the Sens need them. This road trip is not getting any easier. In Vegas on Sunday night, in Arizona on Tuesday, and then finishing off in Colorado on Thursday. So a big set of games in the upcoming week. But let's focus on a bit of positives here. Pillsy, Drake Batherson looks phenomenal. He was at his best tonight, and he's producing points. He's looking decent in the defensive side of the puck, and he got this team off and running in the first period with a pair of points. First, I mean, Travis Hamonic, that's call it what you want, but I thought Drake's goal was pretty high skill.
Yeah, especially that goal that makes it 2-0 there. Is that
That he was the 2-0 goal. Yeah, his, because Hamonic scored on the first one, and then it was him with the second.
No, sorry. I guess I'm talking about his second goal. Sorry, I'm lost on my
Oh, that was
notes
later.
here.
That was at the start of the second period. That made it 4-2.
Yeah, but the thing I wanted to note out about that goal is I feel like, Ross, that's the kind of grade A chances Batherson has been getting. And normally he hits the crossbar on that one.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice for him to finally be able to bury it, and not just the first goal like you were mentioning, but the second goal too. Too bad you didn't have your Batherson 3 points trend going. I was waiting for that tweet to resurface, Ross. But yeah, a nice game for Batherson. I would agree.
Yeah, it was a nice game for him. He's the second Senator hitting double digits in goals, joining Brady Tkachuk. He's up to 10 right now. Drake Batherson is. I'm just looking. These 3 unanswered goals just kill me. And how about, I mean, how have we not mentioned this so far? Hashtag sends abroad. Matt Duchene scores the game winner against the Ottawa Senators. Like, doesn't that just feel like a nice twist?
Yeah, that's the kind of loss that the Ottawa Senators deserve, apparently. And the worst part about that, Ross, is that's such a weird play. Like, Duchene goes all the way back to the blue line, almost puts himself offside, is able to get out of pressure, is able to get open to receive a one-touch pass right away, and then does a backhand spin move that Josh Norris puts in his own net. And that's the game winner when you're up 4-2. Like, come on. Like, only the Ottawa Senators can shoot themselves in the foot like that. Damn.
I mean, what more is there to really say?
It's poetic.
I stick with this, though, because we can get on individual players, and we got on Jacob Chikrin after last night's game. He was one of their best players tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to save him for my Sen Central standout presented by the Glebe
We'll
Central
get to
Club.
that, but I wanted to note him, because whenever we're hard on guys, I do like to give credit where it's due. Same with Tim Stutz. Like, we want to be the big. We're literally still wearing the logo on our head after another loss. Like, we want to be the biggest water carriers for this team.
No one wants that more than us.
Nobody does. Nobody does. People want it as much, but nobody wants it more.
937 episodes, 0 playoff games covered. We want
0 playoff games. We haven't even been at 500 for more than 10 episodes.
We only have a handful of meaningful games that we
don't even have games in hand anymore, really. Some, but it's a joke because they're not winning any of them.
Hand just yet, Ross.
No, we got like one
handful.
handful.
Have much of it. Yeah, exactly.
But they're not winning games. Like, now it's back-to-back losses. Now they've lost 3 of 4.
Yeah.
And if you go back since coming back from Europe, now all of a sudden those 3 wins in 4 games. Come on.
That seems like a lifetime ago.
Seems like a lifetime ago. Now they're 3-6 in the last 9 games. And then you look at the home record. Let's assume you're GM and have to make a trade to send a message. And assuming that DJ's here the rest of the season, who are you trading and what position or role are you bringing in? That's from Sens Burner. Appreciate you, Sens Burner. So with this question, there's a lot of different ways that we.
I got an answer if you need to think about it for some time, Ross.
Please.
Mostly the role I'm going to refer to here, and I was thinking about this the other day. I think I might have mentioned it. I feel like when Pinto comes back in, you're probably going to move Greg to the wing. And then where does Kubalik go? Because you're not going to put Greg on the 4th line. I feel like he's been playing good and deserves a better chance. Kubalik on the 4th line isn't going to produce anything.
Sucks. He sucks.
That's a more direct way to get to what I was getting at. But yes, that's fair criticism for now, Ross. And
midway through the game, Pillsy, I looked at it, and his shot share when he was on the ice, 0 attempts for while he was on the ice. Not even just him. And 12 against, and the shots were like 15-11. I was like, how is this even possible?
And this wasn't a high shots game, so like for you to be a part of that many shots against, that's brutal. But what I was getting at, the role I think this team needs is a 3rd line player that is physical and defensive more than has a great shot or is a goal scorer. They've got enough goal scoring. Let the top 6 worry about that. I feel like they need a guy like, I don't know necessarily that this him specifically, but a Marcus Foligno type, Ross, maybe someone you'd be more familiar with, like a Adam Lowry, right? Like guys
Well,
that
you're not going to get a captain, like
I'm
that
not. No,
quality.
no, no. That's what I'm saying. Not those guys specifically. That
Mhm.
type of player that's going to provide something different to this bottom six. That they don't need a Kubalik to try to be scoring goals when you've got a top six that's so loaded here, especially Tarasenko. Like you don't need Kubalik if you have Tarasenko. So you got to find a way to bring in other roles. And I feel like too, and maybe the chat can let me
The
know.
chat saying the chat saying Nick Paul.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's honestly the perfect example. Yeah, how did I miss that? Nick Paul, literally, that's a guy I'm talking about trying to get towards. So yes, great job, the chat. I forget what I was gonna
Well,
ask the
I'll pick
chat
it up
next.
here because
Yeah, go
I've
for it.
kind of figured out my answer to this, and the answer is I'm not trading anybody
Yes.
because I know that I'm
Well, maybe
cheating, but
Kubalik.
yeah, but like Sens Burner wrote and others, where it's just like that doesn't move the needle, right? Like
No,
it's one, you're not going to get anything for him, and two, what are you
I
gonna
mean the
send the
Wings
message to the
got
room?
Alex
Nobody's going to
Ovechkin.
notice if he's there or not. Nobody's even going to notice.
Yeah,
So
no, that's not the guy. That's not the guy. But you like, I don't know. At this point, you might as well clear the space.
right, but I mean, I
No
talked about
offense.
this last night on the postcast. I talked about it on Twitter at Sens Central. It's a matter to me of all of the top end players on this team, from Tarasenko and Giroux to all the young players, the three guys they drafted in the top 5, and Stützle, Sanderson, Kachuk. You have guys who all have individual pedigree. These guys didn't just forget how to play hockey overnight.
Yeah,
They're all great players in their own right. I truly believe.
same.
At least like there's guys around the edges, I think. But to me, the one constant is the coaching. And we've seen too many examples now where a coaching change is made and then the team starts winning. So
Or at least
why can't
has
that
some
be
sort of
us?
change, Ross. At the very least,
Why can't
has
that
a
be us?
change and
Why
stops
can't
digging towards the bottom of the standings here. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like this iteration, this era of the Ottawa Senators has had so many chances and have tried to tinker around. There's really only one area they have not tinkered around with, and it's so painfully obvious that the only assumption I can come to is that ownership is like, hey, we just got here, we're not going to shake things up. If we have to punt this season, we punt this season, and then next year we clean everything up the way we want, and then we start fresh because we only just got in here. But like, if you're an Ottawa Senators fan, you're like, you don't understand. We've already been resetting. We've already been clean slating. We've already shipped things out. Like, we can't be doing that anymore because then you're setting yourself back even more. And we can't do that. We can't be doing that.
Wally asks, what does DJ have in this organization? Serious question. Thank you, Wally. What I'll say to you is I think he has a yes man mentality, and I think he's very likable. I think that's what he has. And he's going to tell the owner what he wants to hear. And I mean, results are going to show enough eventually. But at this point, it's like, I think that stability is kind of a catchphrase, but I also think that they were naive enough, maybe Steos and Anlauer, that they're like, oh, it's not going to be, a crippling thing. And tonight wasn't on DJ Smith in particular. I really don't.
Yeah.
Tonight, if Forsberg even has a decent game, they win.
Yeah.
Like they were up 2-0 5 minutes in. I think what you can really get on them for is the penalty kill and the power play. Those are still awful. The power
Agreed.
play sucks. Like the power play does nothing.
The only thing the power play did, Ross, was allow a shorthanded goal.
Yeah, so they allow a shorthanded goal, they allow a power play goal, they allow a goal in the final minute of the period, and they allow, in the final couple minutes of the period there. What was it? Oh no, it wasn't. It felt like it. The Essa Lindell goal that answered. That's the one I meant.
10 seconds after they scored. Yeah,
exactly. So they did that, the old answer goal. So they basically had a bit of everything tonight, and the Senators they have no answer. They have no answer. I don't want to be watching Mackling Celebrini at the World Juniors and be like, oh, he could be a Senator. I really don't.
we've been doing that, Ross.
Stefano's mentioning they're -1 for 3 on the power play tonight.
Yeah, that is how they should do the power play, is you get negative points there. But yeah, the special teams have been awful. And we talked about it, that The penalty kill has been so bad. And yet again, another brutal night as I don't know what was going on there where all three guys, and they're already collapsed so tight towards the net, and then three of them just go diving for the puck like that, leaving guys wide open. Like that's one of the easiest goals Joe Pavelski's ever going to score.
Ever. And he scored a lot of goals.
Yeah. I think that goal moved him, they were saying on the broadcast, 8th all-time in American-born players in points.
Oh, oof. That's pretty good. Great to be on the wrong side of it. Really cool.
Classic
really
Sens,
cool.
eh?
Classic Sens. You know what? I feel like I need a time amongst friends. I need a drink. I need to go to the Glebe Central Pub. The Postcast is always brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. The Glebe Central Pub, right in the heart of the Glebe. 779 Bank Street. It's a walking distance from Lansdowne. So if you're going to do some shopping, whatever the case may be, you can go check them out at the Glebe Central Pub. 779 Bank Street. Not only do they have fun, interactive events like the Arsenal Supporters Club, like Atletico Ottawa, when they're in season, they march down from the pub and go to the games the whole time. They also have open mic nights and comedy nights, a speed dating night every once in a while. You always know there's something fun going on at the Glebe Central Pub. And make sure you check out their Sens shuttle next time you're heading to the Sens game. Leave your car at home and let Sue do all the driving. Sue's awesome. She leaves an hour and 15 minutes before the game. Everybody's having a good time on the bus. You get there in time for puck drop, and you'll be right back at the Glebe Central Pub after the game. So buy your tickets on the website at theglebecentralpub.com/sensbus. So go check them out. Glebe Central Pub, right in the heart of the Glebe. We love our friends at the GCP, where the vibes are free.
Nice. This episode was also brought to you by our friends over at eBay Motors. Guys, eBay Motors is the spot for anything you want to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, yep. Roof racks, yep. Exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, you know eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts, you will always find what you're looking for. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride, or you get your money back. It's simple, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not burning cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that dub. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Check it out today, guys. eBay Motors.
All right, welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller here for the Locked On Senators podcast. Make sure you're following along on Twitter at Sen Central. We're on Instagram, lockedon.senators, and we are here for you to vent or vibe after every single Ottawa Senators games. Now, there's been a lot of venting recently. This team cannot string wins together. Heck, they can't even get a win, as they are 3-6 in their last 9 games. Things are really falling apart. I know we're scrolling back right after. They've had a situation this season where they've had 2 3-game win streaks, but I'm going all the way back to the first one. Since that first one, where I tweeted out saying that the Sens are going to be a problem for the entire NHL.
Nice, Ross.
Since I tweeted out that the Sens are going to be a problem for the entire NHL, they've been a problem for one thing, and that is our collective mental health. The Senators have 8 wins in 20 games since then, Pilsy. 8 wins in 20 games since then.
Yeah, it's just too similar to last season, isn't it?
Yeah, but it feels worse because it's once again, we convinced ourselves it's going to be different this year. We played games in Stockholm, but frankly, the syndrome remains.
Yeah, honestly, this team has Stockholm syndrome on all of us here, and it's brutal because they have the pieces and they can get close enough where it almost feels attainable, but ultimately it all falls apart. And it's so hard to believe that they weren't even able to muster enough to get this game to overtime. You got to at least be able to do that, especially it's insane how many games are going into overtime and shootout this season around the rest of the NHL. It's so wild that the Senators are not a part of any of them on this continent.
None. So since that heater at the start of the season, right? Because they won both games in Europe, so they're actually 6-12 in North America since that. It is really tough times right now, and again, there's just one constant through it all, and that's what really bothers me.
Yeah.
But like, what are we supposed to do? We're just gonna sit here and repeat ourselves night after night, day after day. We started Locked On Senators November of 2019, and DJ Smith was already the coach. We've done 939, I think, episodes as of today.
Oh, I thought it was 37.
No, look, we've got it right here. Right
Oh,
here.
jeez.
From this morning.
Oops. Seems like a long time
930.
ago.
We did 900. You're right, though. We have done 937, but then
True.
we've done
Still
two more.
correct. Yes.
So you are still correct. But DJ Smith has been the only head coach through all 939 episodes.
And Ross, we're probably going to get to 1,000. That's going to be wild.
You
Having
think
covered
he's still
this
going to be
team
here at
for
1,000?
1,000 episodes. It's not that far away. 1,000 episodes, no playoff games, same coach, 2 different owners even. Like, everything has changed.
And the same 2 assistant coaches as well. Like,
Yeah.
that to me is what's mind-boggling. They're not even like, hey, why
Same.
don't we just like get somebody out of here?
That's the thing. That would be the place to start in my mind. Again, not advocating for people to lose their job. These are 2 new job opportunities that I'm talking about here. But
Change is good. Change is good.
At some point, Ross, it's not even change is good. It's change is change. Like, you can't just keep doing this over and over.
Oh, Steve's right, by the way. Steve King writes they're actually 8-13 since because Hockey Reference didn't add their latest loss. So,
Sick.
Thanks, Steve. Shout out to Sens fan and Van. We always appreciate it. The cute pupper is just cherry on top. And I'm going to assume you're calling us stable losers. We're actually very unstable.
I was going to say not that stable.
Not that stable. But we are, but we are consistent. But we are consistent here. Locked On Senators. Like, is it even worth going through the game recap, like where you go through and you're like, oh, what happened here? What happened there? Bottom line is Anton Forsberg let in 2 goals that no NHL goalie should be letting in. One of them is, it might even not be pictured here. I thought this was the Thomas Harley goal based on how Forsberg is reacting at the side of his net, but that's actually another time where he was completely lost in his own net. So Ottawa loses this game 5-4. They outshoot Dallas 29-24. Ottawa goes over 3 on the power play. Hey, you all see the graphics. If you're listening to this, the answer is it's not good. Nothing's good. But hey, they had 21 hits, so you know they worked hard. Pillsy, you know what we should do? We should get some Sen Central standouts presented by the Glebe Central Pub because unlike last night, the Senators, I thought, some of them had good games tonight. Yep. The Senators played well enough to win this game. That's what I want to get across right now. They played well enough to win this game. One thing, though, because, Josh Norris, he scored a goal. Nice little follow-up play on the Claude Giroux
2 goals.
Goal. Well, so I'm right, just like you with the episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. One went into his own net.
The game winner.
You think he's ever thought about using like an adult-sized hockey stick?
Is his stick short? I haven't noticed.
You haven't noticed it? Okay, I'm noticing it more and more on the power play than anything.
Okay.
Because he always has to like choke down on his stick. He plays, and I've heard him talk about it before as well. He plays with maybe the shortest stick on the team.
And he's not a short guy. Like,
maybe
at
in
least
the
6
league.
feet, right?
Like, here, this photo, I like, it's hard to do it justice, but you can kind of tell from this here, Pilsy, because you can look how far he's hunched over. Oh my
God. Yeah, that looks photoshopped.
Like he's literally playing with a mini stick.
Yeah, okay, that is wild. Wow. And what, you said he was explaining it? What's his explanation for it?
He can control the puck better. It's like, dude, there are so many opportunities where you just can't get the puck.
And no offense, we're not too concerned about your puck control. We're concerned about your shot. Like, you have an elite shot. Like, you don't need to be stick handling in a phone booth. Just get that clap bomb off from your office like you did 35 times a few years ago.
Do legit to quit, saying the short stick's better for stick handling and face-offs. But, like, have you guys not noticed, like, am I taking crazy pills? But when he's on the power play, he never catches passes properly. Like, he had the one-timer before. It's basically gone. Stefano saying Norris is using Branny sticks now.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's had a couple zingers. I don't it definitely does have an effect on your reach, right? Like you're not going to be able to get those passes that are just off, or you're not going to be able to get sticks in the lane as easy and things like that. But I get it with the control thing, but I just feel like there's other attributes that are so important to Josh Norris that maybe that he doesn't need to get that short of a stick, maybe a little bit shorter, not a mini stick out there. That is wild.
Yeah, it really is. So take a peek at that Sunday night against Vegas. Sens fan and van, you're too kind. You guys are way too kind. The kids making millions need a new teacher. Here we are again, saying the same thing, but like it bears repeating. DJ Smith, though, after the game, like he said, lots to build up. Like he's saying all the things that you'd expect a coach to
Yeah.
say in this situation. But okay, enough of that conversation. Pillsy, give me a Send Central standout presented by the Glebe Central Pub.
Okay, well, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to go with Jacob Chikrin. We have been hard on him lately, and he got 3 assists here, which was a really good night for him. And I thought even defensively, there was a couple times where he made a really good effort to break up a cross slot pass. He had a bunch of ice time. Did he lead the Sens 20? Yeah, he's leader on the Sens for time on ice. So that's the kind of performance we need from Jacob Chikrin, and it's too bad that it was not enough to help him get the win here. I mean, 3 assists, he had his guy.
He certainly did, and he also, I thought, yeah, it was just solid all over the ice. Now, I will say though, Pillsy, these weren't like tape to tape. It's in the back of the net assists. They showed all five of
Fair.
his because he had 5 consecutive assists both last game and this one. They
I
showed it. And it
remember
was
the
like,
two last game were secondary. Was it the same case in this one?
dude, one of them was it was the one on the Norris goal where Giroux brought it up, and
Fair.
Norris gave Giroux the stretch pass. Chikrin gave it to Norris in his own zone. Then Norris had the lead pass. Giroux did it all else, and then Norris tapped it in. But because Norris was the last one to touch it, they give it to the other guy. So they put the compilation together at the start of the third period, and it was pretty comical, like
That is
how
funny.
these assists came to be. Where, yeah, let's see, were they all? No, it was, well, the other one he just gave the puck to Travis Hamonic, and the other one he just gave the puck to Drake Batherson. They're primaries though, so hey, they count. But like Drake did all the work on his, and Hamonic just had a seeing eye shot that went in.
Yeah, I guess I mean obviously 3 assists looks good on the stat sheet, but I guess more what I
No,
was highlighting is his defensive play looked a lot better than it had recently.
no, I agree. I think he was one of the better Senators tonight for sure. And he also got was it a stick or he got something in the face because he
Yeah, he
was
got cut up on his cheekbone there.
yeah, he's got some zippers for sure in this game, and a good one. I'm just pulling up his advanced stats because everyone here, I know everyone loves the advanced numbers.
Oh yeah.
No, tonight Jacob Chikrin, 18 shot attempts, 415 against, and he had an expected goals of 45%. So right kind of in the middle of the
Okay.
pack there for the Ottawa Senators. But I like that, Pillsy. I'm going to go with Tim Stützle as my Sen Central standout in tonight's game. 2 assists, and one of them in particular was like classic Tim Stützle. This is what he needs to be at his best, and that was the zone entry on Drake's second goal, where Brady did
Yep.
some good work afterwards behind the net. But Timmy's zone entry, just weaving through neutral zone, coming in with speed, and then being able to stop up and read the ice and put it on Brady's stick behind the net. And he didn't like panic with it like we saw in the last game. So no, I like that from Tim Stützle. I thought he had a good night. He tried to even be physical at times tonight. So he was engaged, and if he has more of these efforts, it's going to be all good for him going forward.
Yeah, he was second on the team in ice time. Even he was the top forward, wasn't he last night as well,
Yeah,
Ross?
his ice time's getting a little out of hand, but
Yeah.
they're playing from behind all the time. Like Tim's like a forward should not. What do you play tonight?
2409.
Yeah, he played 23:35 last night. So that's almost 50 minutes of hockey in 2 nights for
Well,
Timmy.
Ross, one of the things I was going to get at is these penalty killing units have a lot of top 6 guys on them. Like Timmy's playing there, Claude, Josh Norris. Like you got a lot of guys that are playing a lot of 5-on-5 minutes, a lot of power play time, and then killing penalties too. Like that's why I was saying like you need a third line Nick Paul type that can help bear the load of some of these penalty killers. So that would help cut down Timmy's ice time a bit here.
So somebody's got to do it, but hey, it's fun when he's out there because what you have from Timmy is some superstar ability, and he showed that tonight. Do you have any others that you want to highlight from the Ottawa Senators
yeah,
tonight?
I got an honorable mention, and just like we talked about, we're hard on guys when they're not good, and when they're good, you got to give them their flowers, give them their stick taps. I thought it was a nice game for Zach McEwen. Like, not anything that was like obviously monumental, but he was throwing hits out there. He had 3 shots. I thought
Active game.
Yeah, an active game. That's what you want to see from him. And for years, Makel likely being the guy that's getting called back up, at least Zach McEwen had a good game, and DJ Smith really emphasized this morning how they want to up the physicality. So, you know what? You got to play your roles. I don't usually give Zach McEwen many stick taps, so I'm doing it now. Say something nice about Zach McEwen.
That you just did. Another point for Claude Giroux. There's something else that I'll say as we do want him to really become one of those guys where when you look back at his tenure with the Ottawa Senators, the more points, the better. I thought he was all right tonight. What a uncharacteristic play for him when he went kind of 1-on-3 in the zone and he just flipped it up into the netting.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Even Ryan Suter after is like, yo, gee, what's up with that?
what were you doing?
I don't know. I think he was just tired. Like that was a weird one.
Very, very strange.
Especially
play.
That's like a high pressure moment because right after that, didn't the Sens call a timeout and pull the goalie?
Yeah, they did.
Like you would have much rather got a shot on Wedgwood and get the freeze there. Like weird play.
Just a weird play. Yeah. And at the end of the night, the Ottawa Senators come out with 0 points, Pilsy. 0 points.
None. I would have loved a loser point, Ross. That's how lame and how down bad we are right now. We're stable losers that can't even get loser points.
We can't even get any points, dude. But you know what we get? We get the defending Stanley Cup champions coming off a loss in their own building. We get to play them on Sunday night. You got any thoughts on that?
I mean, the Leams Martian is going to be at the game, so hopefully that sways things in the Ottawa Senators' favor. If anyone knows how to watch a hockey game in Vegas, it's that guy.
Well, he's 1-5 with boots on the ground. This
what about season. Road record 1-5? That's what matters here.
0-0. 0-0. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Kevin Hemina. Appreciate you, Kevin. He was right with you. He's hoping for that loser point. Stable losers.
We are hoping for loser points, Kevin.
If we weren't worried about like search engine optimization and anything, the title of this postcast would be Stable Losers.
Yeah, that's pretty on brand right now. Hey, I may be a loser, but at least I'm not alone, Ross. We got 208 of our best friends here. I was listening to golf earlier today. Classic.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, this game up against Vegas kind of scares me, especially if Vladimir Tarasenko doesn't return.
Let's spin the wheel before we go. The people want it.
Let's spin the wheel. We're like, how could I argue it? We're in last place still. We've been in last place.
Guess where the Senators are in points percent. Guess where they are.
6th.
You knew that?
No, I'm guessing.
They're 6th.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Sweet.
Isn't that sick? Here, Jordy, get the Go Sens going there. Who is that? He's got a photo of Mike Comrie as his profile. That rules.
Nice. Wait, Mike Comrie 1.0 or 2.0?
1.0, because that's the Senegoth.
Yes, that's definitely 1.0. Good.
That's 1.0. Trivia, and I want the chat to get this too. Who did the Ottawa Senators trade to the Phoenix Coyotes for Mike Comrie? I still remember where I was when this trade went down.
I should know this, but this
is like your first year following the team.
Yeah, exactly. It's 1:12 in the morning for me.
I know. Oh, we've already got the right answer. Shout out to Paul.
Oh, I never would have got that.
Alexei Kagorodov.
I can't even say that name. So
Alexei Kagorodov. I need to figure, because I think he was a first-round pick. I think he was a second-round pick by the Ottawa Senators in 2002. He played 6 NHL games for Ottawa, was traded, and went right back to Magnitogorsk. KHL legend, though.
Hey, good for him.
Played 800 games in Russia. So yeah, anyways, it's 6 right now, Pilsy. This is very dire.
Spin it.
This.
Oh, did we lose Ross? I think we lost Ross. The suspense is killing me. How does this spin turn out?
And now let's just see how many it would take here before we get any sort of victory. Oh my God, pain. There we go. Second overall.
There we go.
Second overall.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Really appreciate everyone for sticking with us, man. These late night games, late night postcasts. I literally punched out the clock and I was right on here. We appreciate everybody. We wouldn't do this without you guys. Really cannot thank you enough. We really, really, really appreciate it. Pillsy, any final thoughts?
This one hurt a little more than usual because there was actual hope in this one.
My wife just texted me saying, "Did the Sens win?" I said no, and I got that back. So you guys can all see Alfie.
Alfie's sad. Yeah.
There you go. Alfie, I'll see you soon, brother. Guys, we'll be back in the postcast Sunday after the Senators lose. Wait, whoa. You didn't want to spoil the script. After the Senators play the Vegas Golden Knights. And stay tuned for that postcast because, one, it's going to be 10, 15 minutes out. It's going to be right after the game. And two, we're going to have a sloppy Lilleem's Martian call again, I'm sure. Boots on the ground.
That'll be interesting.
Hey, he's got a high bar after my performance after the Leafs game on the bus with Sue. I remember it. We're having a blast. My mom texted me the next day. I'll leave everyone with this. It's postcast after dark right now. My mom's going to watch this tomorrow and be like, what the heck? She says to me, sorry, I got to scroll back a little bit. December 7th. So it's after this. She goes, is there something wrong with your mouth?
You definitely were slurring a little, but not that no one could understand you. Just you had a green light.
I said, LOL, what? She goes, were you just drunk in last night's podcast? You sound like you were lisping.
Yeah.
I said all the yelling at the game too. My voice is never great after. And she goes, it's not hoarseness, it's pronunciation.
Yeah, people in the chat were giving you Mike Tyson lisps in their comments.
Really?
Like, I'm Roth, like ROTH Levitan on LOFP.
Oh my goodness.
It was definitely a thing.
Pilsy, what would your save percentage have been in this game?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't played goalie in so long.
I'll tell you, mine would have been better than Jake Ottinger. His was 0.
Yeah, that's so frustrating for Jake Ottinger leaving that game knowing you just laid a goose egg save percentage-wise.
Yeah, seriously.
Damn.
But he doesn't get the win. Scott Wedgwood gets the win. Scott Wedgwood now 3-1 against the Ottawa Senators in his career. So there you have it. All right, for Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Let's get some Go Sens goes in the chat. We appreciate you coming out with us after a 5-4 Ottawa Senators loss to the Dallas Stars. Next up, the Senators will take on the Vegas Golden Knights at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern, right? Is it? I got it right here. 8 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock for me. We'll be here after the game. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. Make sure you check out the Glebe Central Pub right in the heart of the Glebe. Visit them for great food, tasty drinks, and awesome vibes.